Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.
This is the greatest sound.
Hey. That's a nice little Greatest Showman
Hey.
little blast.
That's an immediately uplifting tune, isn't it?
That was lovely,
Like
Jacob.
if you hear This is the greatest show, I'm immediately in a good mood.
Yeah.
I feel like I should make my alarm clock in the morning be like, this is the greatest show!
and turn it up to 11 also.
And I'll just jump out of bed. Exactly.
So do we have a
started.
guest that we're in?
We're in.
So that actually was live.
That was live.
What just happened then?
Yes, that happened. And
how
today
embarrassing.
we have a guest today.
Yeah?
And this is starting to feel a little bit like we went to summer camp.
Yes.
And we made all these friends.
Yes.
And now we bring them back on the
my
show.
best friend's coming on the show.
Your best friend is here today.
Yes.
And who's your best friend?
Barbara Martinez is here from Conservation X Labs.
Barbara Martinez, the Open Innovation Director from Conservation X Labs. Welcome to the Biofriendly Podcast.
We had a blast. That last party at the bar,
Yes,
we caught up.
we did.
Did some dancing. We
was
went out
great.
on the town. It was
great.
amazing. That whole little
amazing.
crew we had going.
Yeah,
How are you doing, Barbara? Welcome to the Biofriendly
Thanks.
Podcast.
Thanks, you guys. I'm doing well. It's really nice to see you again. It's been about a year, right?
A little
That was
over.
a year ago.
Unreal.
Yeah.
I know how different life was back then and in Green Biz, and then we got to see you again in DC at the train station.
I know.
With
And
Amy.
that
That
was
was like
just
right before.
Yes.
Yeah,
What was
that's
that?
when we
Early March?
Yeah, early March.
February?
That's
Yeah, I think so.
Things happened quickly, didn't they?
did.
In early March, we did that. I was like, well, yeah, there's this thing happening over there. It was probably not too big of a deal. Probably be fine.
We're fine.
And then within 2 weeks,
It was game over.
crazy.
Well,
It's
and
funny when you break it down that way.
and today, I know this is airing tomorrow, but it's St. Patrick's Day. You can tell from
Yes, and I dressed up.
he did dress up. I thought I dressed up, but
Ja-
Noel says my green is not a green.
Jacob keeps claiming that he's wearing green, but to me it looks like it looks gray. That's a muted green gray.
I think he's colorblind. But if you're an audience member, I think you should call now. Tell me.
and discover. Well, here's the thing. Right now, okay. So, Barbara,
Yes.
you wearing a muted gray green, that works, right? That's okay. I'm acceptable to that one because you're the guest and because you're wonderful and you get extra points.
Right.
But Jacob,
Yeah.
actually has quite a bit of Irish blood in
I
him.
do. I'm very Irish.
And I think now, I guess the rule is if you're Irish, you don't have to wear green because it's in your blood.
That's true.
But
That's what I was thinking.
I, as a fellow distant Irishman via Australia, now American,
Yeah.
I think that if you're Irish, particularly not in Ireland, it's your responsibility to go big or
go big
home.
or go
And
home.
Jacob has gone home.
Look, I've been going home for the last year. I just want to get back out into the world again.
So
you're right.
you should have gone big.
I'm ashamed.
And here I am in a shirt that says Ireland, the soccer jersey of the nation.
It is. It's beautiful.
And you're in some kind of muted gray nonsense.
I know. And both of our surnames are very Irish surnames, Carroll and Givens.
That's true.
Those are both Irish names.
Yeah.
So I have brought shame to the Givens family.
Shame and disgrace. So now that's clear. So
Yeah.
now, poor Barbara. She's
Barbara, happy St. Patrick's Day. Oh, she hung out with us. She knows what we're like.
She knows this nonsense.
She knows.
So, all right. So apart from, a pandemic and everything, how are things going for Conservation X Labs? Were you able to keep things rolling over everything that was happening last year?
Yeah. I mean, my job is to design and run these global competitions, and it actually wasn't that difficult to take it from in-person into a digital type of platform because we have to try to recruit applicants, and the easiest way to do that is through email and social media.
Totally.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
also nice to go to meetings and meet awesome people like you to recruit
Oh,
our challenges and
shucks,
competitions.
shucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it actually, was not that difficult to move our competitions to an all online presence. Last year, we ran an artisanal mining grand challenge.
Wow.
and
Artisanal
small
mining.
scale. Yes.
What? So
I only know of
Yeah.
artisanal cheese. I don't know anything
they're
about.
very similar.
They're very similar.
Yes,
Can
yes.
you mine cheese?
You can
artisanally?
absolutely mine cheese. Yes, well, it's kept in caves.
What is artisanal mining?
Yeah. So there's, all the raw materials, gold, silver,
Platinum,
anything,
palladium,
platinum.
uranium,
Yeah. Unobtainium.
tin.
Yes, tin. So all of these raw materials are mined,
Yeah.
right? There's large-scale mines that are well-funded. They have investors, they have boards. They usually have to go through permitting processes to establish their mines, and they're usually held accountable if there's some environmental harm.
Yeah.
But then
Which
there's
is
this
good.
whole sector of artisanal and small-scale miners that that operate outside of the permitting, usually outside of a permitting process. They're not really held accountable. There are few, if any, worker protection type of infrastructure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's what's the estimate? About 40 million people worldwide who work within artisanal and small scale mining.
Wow.
We actually did talk a little bit about this, but Jacob forgot because we're on show 107
Seven.
or
107,
something like
yeah.
that. But yeah,
Look, they come and go out of my brain, but you're right. We
Yeah,
did.
we did like in Africa, particularly when you talk about cobalt mining. Most of that is done artisanally,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's done without any kind of there's just people out there with shovels and hoping that they don't die. Kind
Yeah.
of. Is that kind of similar?
It's a really and people are engaging in the sector because it's a source of income, and it's kind of like a parallel sector is subsistence farming. I mean, they're artisanal and small scale miners because it's providing them a subsistence income. So we ran that competition last year, and we're actually going to run a second round of it this year, focused on gold mining and in the Amazon.
Oh.
Which we can talk about as well.
Yeah. I mean, why not? We got you. Let's get into all of it.
We want to dig into all of them.
Let's see how we can all be rich.
Well, Barbara's not the first Conservation X Labs guest we've had. Last year, we had Dr. Paul Bungie and Dr. Alex Degan, who were the founders of Conservation X Labs. They came on to the show, but this time around,
the lemur guy and the snail guy.
The lemur guy and the snail guy.
That's right. That's how we refer to them.
Yeah,
yes. So that's internally too. Everybody refers to them as the lemur guy and the snail guy.
Pretty much. There's an ongoing battle internally about which animal or group of animals are better, and I'm on the lemur side personally.
You're team lemur.
Lemur.
I think it's easier to be on team lemur because they're way cuter. Right,
and snails take a while to get there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Slow and steady.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had them on the show, and we got to have them come back at some point in time because we lost Alex, I think, midway through. So we only had Paul. So we got to have a
Paul
round
rocked
two.
it though, man.
Yeah, he did. He did a great job. Yeah. But we wanted Barbara because specifically one of the big things that Conservation X Labs is about is this opportunity for innovation and these awards, the money to be given to people to come up with a great idea. And that's one of the main reasons that we wanted to have you come on that
it's one of our favorite things about Conservation X Labs is the idea that look, this is something we can all participate in. And if you have a way that you can help to do it, then here's a company who's out there finding money, raising money, becoming, getting grants and having competitions. So if you have a good idea, you've got a shot to actually maybe start a business doing something really good for the planet.
Yeah.
So did we nail that or what?
You nailed it. Yeah. That's it.
We should be Conservation X Labs spokespeople.
Yeah. Basically. But I'm sorry to go back to the earlier one. I'm sorry I cut you off. So on the artisanal mining? So what was the grant for? What did they get for? Who won and what did they get? Because I was
Yeah, good question. So I assume that maybe we could provide links too.
Yes, we can absolutely provide
we could
links.
Direct people to read more about the winners from the first round of the Artisanal Mining Grand Challenge. So that first round was open to anyone with an innovation that was relevant to anything that's mined artisanally. So it wasn't just gold, but it was cobalt, it was tin, it could have been anything. Yeah. And there were some general categories of solutions that we were looking for. The entire sector is very data deficient.
Yeah.
And there's a big push globally to formalize the sector. Yeah. So formalizing might mean that it becomes legal in some, because it's also illegal depending on where you are and what you're mining.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
But formalization could provide more protection to the workers, could also lead to better environmental protection and outcomes. And that's where we were interested in pushing for more of those environmental protections and like remediation of mining sites, restoration of areas that get deforested or converted through the mining process.
Sure, like in the Amazon, right? That's where they're having a huge problem with that, with lithium mines, right? Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Okay.
And so is that a cash prize for this last thing, or was
yes.
it? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
we had a cash prize. There was 750,000 total that we distributed across 5 winners.
Wow.
The Microsoft AI for Earth team or program also contributed a prize. So there were a number of applicants who had an AI component.
Nice.
And so there was one selected for that particular prize. And in the second round of the challenge in the Amazon, we're interested in taking some of the winners from the first round and providing them opportunities to pilot their innovations in the Amazon or connect them with some other strategic partners who can help them move from whatever stage they're at now to their next stage so that they can grow.
So cool.
Gain customers and actually have an impact with their innovations. We tend to ask for, there needs to be a prototype or like a previous demonstration of your innovation when you enter into our competitions.
Yeah, it can't just be in word only. You can't be like, this is my idea and it'll work. you have to actually show an example of it working.
Yeah.
Right.
Can it be, though, in Word document format?
Can it? Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I think so. You write it out. No, you got to have a prototype.
It has to have a prototype.
Okay.
All right. Well, then I'll just
power.
I won't submit my idea.
Don't. Let other people have a chance. Noel.
Yeah.
You can't take all of it.
I haven't made the prototype yet.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm only in Word document form. Yeah.
But you have a new challenge, and this one's coming up pretty soon. This one is, the deadline, I believe, is in June, and it's a microfiber challenge, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So
Exactly.
for the lay person who's listening, what is a microfiber? What is that?
It's a very good question. So I'm gonna step back a little bit and tell you how we got here, because first we were going to run a competition on microplastics. So we were interested in reducing or having some impact on the microplastics in water and in the environment. And as we started to dig deeper and talk to experts who are working in the field, both researchers and producers of potential solutions, the space is huge, because if you think about it, how many plastic things do you can't go through a day without using something that's not plastic.
It's hilarious how obvious that becomes when you really get deep into environmentalism and you dig in. You're like, and you plant your flag and say, I'm really going to try hard, and then you realize this is impossible.
99% of things I come in contact with are plastic.
Yeah. So absolutely.
When we run these competitions, we really like to have a lot of partners who are on board with the challenge, and they're not necessarily sponsors of the challenge, but they're there because they're going to help us advertise to the potential applicants.
Yeah, sure.
They're also there because they're really interested in the innovations that come through the competition, because they might be customers, they might be buyers of those solutions, they might collaborate with the innovators.
That's kind of a secondary bonus to working with you guys, right? You know, not just the money, but you get to meet contacts who can help you do it.
Yeah, make things a reality.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. Partners. And that's also marketing too.
Yeah.
We like to talk about the innovations that come through the competitions, and that is a form of marketing.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Awesome. So sorry, I think I cut you off.
Back to microplastics.
When you think about all the potential partners who are creating sources of microplastics, it's huge. So we started to narrow down, and we started to dig into, okay, what are some of these problems that, or these solution areas that could use an infusion of innovation, where those innovations are perhaps at the laboratory or prototypes in the lab setting, or there's a few, they're working on prototypes and iterating on their prototypes. And what we heard a lot was that in the textile industries, fashion. You've probably heard of fast fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did a show on it.
We did one of those.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So this is a source of plastic microfibers in the environment. Your clothing sheds fibers, the fiber fragmentation. So you just by moving about
Yeah.
and washing your clothing and drying, and in clothing production and disposal, these fibers break off of textiles, and they last in the environment. It's a source of microplastics. So it's a source of microplastics when that material is polyester, that poly-based, those poly-based textiles. Natural fibers also break off.
Cotton.
Like
and
cotton,
stuff
cotton, silk, wool. And there's discussion in the field, people who create and produce textiles about, the biodegradability and compostability of different fibers.
Yeah.
A lot of our textiles are treated. So the dyeing process,
Right.
There's other chemicals and things that go into that treatment process, which could make a fiber last longer in the environment.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's also the other properties that are added to clothing, like waterproofing properties.
Yeah. Totally.
Again, it's like a chemical treatment usually.
Yeah.
So we decided on the Microfiber Grand Challenge, Microfiber Innovation Challenge. Sorry.
No
Because
worries.
we're really interested in supporting innovations that are new materials or alternative materials to those that are producing plastic microfibers.
Okay.
So alternatives to poly-based fabrics and textiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're also looking for innovations that might, through the manufacturing process of textiles, would reduce or eliminate microfiber shedding.
Yeah.
So, and this is super interesting to me, and I'm not going to do it justice, but the way that the fibers are woven together could play a role in the shedding of those fibers.
To reduce it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just somebody innovating a new way to weave our clothes together, basically, that you could reduce the shedding and the particles falling off of us if somebody was to come up with a new way that we wove it all together, possibly. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And I think it could also even be a treatment too.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so interesting that we started the show. This is the great surprise of this whole thing. We started the show talking about green colored shirts. And so what I was going to say is I think it's pretty funny because our desire to have like unique colors and different types of fabrics and all these different types of clothes, of course, with billions of people on the earth, eventually it's going to add up. Right? Because they're all falling off of our body. So I think we need to simplify and everybody wears the exact same thing.
Okay.
Just one type of clothing.
So you're thinking about that futuristic world where everyone's in like the slick metallic sheen suit.
I want a zipper in the front and it's the metallic suit and we all look like we're in it together and there's no more waking up in the morning.
Do we all have the same haircut?
The same haircut.
Yeah.
Is this starting to sound like 1984? Am I getting a little George Orwell here?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I'll allow it. Well, and the whole time you were talking about that, I was thinking about how so we got a new couch this year.
Yeah.
And the couch we replaced was many years old. We had a couch that we bought in the 2000s.
1970s.
In the 70s. And it was a microfiber couch. Like that's what they made it. It was, and we thought, oh wow, microfiber is what you want because it's so soft, and you put your hand on it and it changes. This way it's darker and this way it's lighter if you like rub it on the.
Right.
And this was of course in the 2000s when there were no environmental problems back then. It was all
back
fine.
in 2005 we were doing okay.
It was great. So we had this couch, and I was like, well, it works. It's perfectly fine couch.
Sure,
I mean, it's got some lumps and some things and whatever. Yeah. But my wife was like, well, I want a new couch. It's been a long time. We need a new couch. And I was like, we don't need a new. Now I'm realizing we needed a new couch because that couch was just.
Because that couch was causing major problems.
That couch was a shedding disaster. Thing was made completely of nothing but microfibers and dyed green. I'll have you know, and waterproofed.
Oh my gosh.
And the whole bit. Sorry,
it's interesting that you talk about how that it was made of microfibers, because there's actually some the term is used differently depending on what sector you're in.
Oh,
Okay.
you might have been in the right sector.
So I'm okay, maybe.
You got to check your sector. Everybody knows that. Check your sector.
That's
Noel.
a Beastie Boys.
It's a Beastie Boys unreleased song. Check your sector.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So it's really, this is such a fascinating field because this whole microfiber and fiber shedding field, because there's the ocean conservationists are really getting together and communicating with the textile producers and manufacturers and clothing producers. Yeah. So in the world of textiles, microfiber is a type of fiber that is there's a technical definition that involves what is it? So it's a fiber with a linear density of less than 1 denier.
Okay.
Does that make yeah, I know.
You love it. This is
Anyhow.
hilarious because we're like just to give the audience a little preparation. We started beforehand. We're like, you know what? Don't worry. We're just going to talk about fluff, silly stuff. We won't get too technical on you or ask you anything that requires you to come up with
all the technical answers. But
Barbara's like, well, good, because I have to look some of this up because and the fact that you just dropped that on
was perfect.
Like on the nose was hilarious because that was such proof that you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But sorry, go ahead.
That's why she's the Open Innovation Director at Conservation X Labs.
Correct. Because she's a genius and she's amazing. And we love Barbara Martinez.
We love Barbara Martinez.
Sorry, so denier, you said 1 denier?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a measurement of that's used in textile production.
Gotcha.
It's new to me. But microfiber is a type of, it's like, it's the finest of fibers apparently in the textile world. So it's really soft, and it's usually used like, you get those microfiber cloths to clean.
Yeah, like screens.
Like wicking. Yeah. And so that's
different.
It's different, yeah. And in the whole like fiber shedding, when we may have, I haven't heard too many complaints about calling it the microfiber challenge, but it's not that we're trying to replace that type of microfiber textile
altogether. Right.
It's the shedding, it's the fiber fragmentation that happens in textiles.
Gotcha.
That start with poly.
Yes.
Yeah. Poly specifically.
Yes.
Because it's the plastic base.
Yeah. Polyester.
So I could have kept my couch.
Nylon.
You could have kept your couch.
This is the point. Lumpy and all as it was my couch.
Yeah. So if you're running around in polyester suits or like vinyl, vampire hunting onesies, then you're causing problems. So you got to get rid of your You got to get rid of your underworld outfit.
My underworld outfit is slick, though. I don't know if the fibers come
There's
off of that.
There's still fibers coming off of it. I think. I don't know.
My slick vampire hunting suit. I feel like that one's probably in better shape than my jeans.
Maybe.
Don't get rid of it because then you're going to want to replace it.
Yeah,
it's better to hold on to those.
And then you're right. And then I'm digging more oil out of the ground. I'm pulling more carbon out of the ground to put on my body.
I just had this vision of every superhero film where if we were truly to embrace environmentalism, all of their outfits would be really battered and tattered because they'd never replace them because they'd be like, well, I care about the planet. So like they would all be really worn and they would be like, I've had this Captain America jumpsuit for 45 years, 75 years. Yeah. And I'm never upgrading because it's bad for the planet.
Because that's impractical for the environment.
So I think that's the green future we want to see.
Yeah. We should have something for that. We should raise money for the superheroes to get an outfit that's a little better for them than the current options.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of polyester in superheroes clothes.
Now before we continue on, this is awesome. Yeah. And we'll definitely come back to it. But I need to know what's the situation with curling right now, because
great segue, Noel.
when we spoke earlier, how we got here.
Yes. We'll break it down. Noel, tell us how we got to curling.
Yes. So when we met, I was freaking out about the Olympic gold medalist curling team, and then you mentioned that your husband, who lives up in, I think you guys came from Minnesota, right?
Yeah, we were in Minnesota.
Okay,
yeah.
so your husband is a curler.
Or he had curled.
Had curled. He was a
curler.
Known for at times curling, perhaps.
He had curling in his past.
Yes, and then of course I was like, oh my god, that's amazing, right? And then you said something in our little pre-catch-up thing that there's been no curling. There's been no curling. Is that right? Did I get that right, or did I get that wrong?
Yeah. Well, it's they canceled the season. Well, the league that he was playing in.
Cancel culture strikes again.
So stupid.
No, you can't be in close proximity on the glass and.
Really? So wow. Okay. So he wasn't able to play last season. What were our Olympic fellows? Because we have some Olympic players who are gonna have to get started in Winter Olympics is soon. Like we're doing summer and then winter back to back because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
He may have played last season and then it got cut short because it's actually a really long season.
Oh, go get your husband. Let's get him on the show.
He was just in here and I shooed him out of the room.
I saw you do that. I saw you do that, which was so great because all of us who have families who had to work from home have had to at one time or another be on a call and do the
we're live.
We're live right now. Please go out of the room.
Thankfully, this show doesn't really matter. So so it's not no. Big
Don't
deal.
worry about it.
This chaos is part of what this whole thing.
Our fans watch the show for these reasons.
Absolutely.
They want,
to find out what disaster
we can do.
come up next.
Yeah.
Okay,
because we all know this show's a joke.
This show is a joke. We'll get to that later.
All right, back to curling.
Yeah. No, but okay. So then, all right. So that's tough. So I hope that our team can still pull through and beat the awful Swedes and those vicious Canadians.
Oh.
Because they're really good at curling.
They are,
and I think that they're out for blood this year.
Yeah.
Because somehow we stole there. We were like the 900th place team, and we somehow won the Olympics.
Yeah.
I'm just putting that out there. But before we leave curling, because we will leave curling, is because it interests me, and I don't know if the audience even cares.
I care.
Jacob cares.
Yeah.
But you were forced to curl. Is this right?
Yes.
I've never done it. Is it fun?
It can be. You have to if your team is fun, it's fun.
If your team is fun.
Okay.
Yeah. So I should say I wasn't forced.
Okay.
Encouraged.
Because I think if my husband listens to this,
You were persuaded.
with that.
You were persuaded into you should give this a try, right?
Yeah. So we had been. It was when we first started dating, and he was living in a different city in Minnesota. And anyhow, he's like, well, there's a curling club, a curling league where I was living. He said, oh, you should join. So I was like, okay, fine. So I got my roommate and my friends together, and none of us had ever
put together
played
a whole team of rookie curlers?
I love it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's commitment.
And we entered the season late.
Yeah.
And we were awful. I mean, we were not a good team.
I love it. You were the bad news bears of curling. I love it.
We didn't know the rules clearly. Right. We kept messing up. Most of the other teams in our league were very kind and didn't mind.
Right.
But there's one team so we were a team of all women, and there was another team of all guys, and they were just mean to us.
Ugh.
Mean.
Toxic curling masculinity.
They probably don't know how to flirt. Is what this was.
Yeah.
It was probably four guys who were in curling who were like, well, if you're mean to girls, then they'll like you.
Yeah.
And they're wrong. But they don't know that they're wrong.
Exactly. Your husband was the exception to the rule in the curling world. He knew how to woo a woman. He was a good man.
I'm not saying curlers in general.
I'm saying curling
this team.
Curlers in general are pigs.
She said most of the curlers were nice, and that it was one team. I feel like you're throwing her husband under the bus unnecessarily again.
I was saying her husband was great. I was saying he was great, but I was saying all curlers are monsters. That's what I was saying. I'm just kidding.
We are the Olympic champion curling nation.
You're right.
It's inappropriate for you to talk that way about us.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
We still had fun because we just kind of we were not in it to compete. But I think my theory is that this team that was unhappy to play us, they wanted to compete and they wanted to actually have competition, and we were not.
Yeah.
Competition at all. You couldn't learn playing with us.
Right.
You couldn't improve your skills.
That's true. Well, but in curling, I mean, the basics of it, like they can just go ahead and beat you by a lot. Like that's because, because in curling, it's not like the other team. Well, I suppose the way they curl against you makes it harder. But your actual act of getting the balls to be the weights, I don't know what
whatever those things.
For being a fan,
they look like They look like kettles.
Stones. For getting the stones exactly where you want them to be, like they could still work on that, and they could have been cool. They could have been neat about it. Plus, it's a guaranteed win. So take the W.
Yeah, that's basically what we were.
You know what I mean? That's well. If we ever run into those guys, we're gonna bash them up for you.
Yeah,
bash them. I mean, not really, but
You want to know what probably has a lot of microfibers? Curling uniforms.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, can you imagine? There's so much polyester.
Those guys on that curling team probably put so much microfiber waste into the ocean.
I'm just saying. Just saying. It all comes back to microfibers.
I think that we should get our entire audience to find them and destroy them.
See, I was the one saying
now I feel bad.
No, we love.
We're
love
kidding,
curling.
audience. Do not
destroy.
destroy.
Attack curlers.
Yes, we love curlers. I brought up the topic because I'm so fascinated by curling, and now I've gone and turned into like a
anti-curler.
Anti-curlite. Yeah, it's terrible.
Like I said, it was otherwise. It's a really I don't know what's the word. Like it's a really collegial sport. Like
gotcha.
The teams they all celebrate after the games, and usually
that's fun.
There's this whole culture of celebration. I feel like that's more important than playing the game.
Yeah, I agree.
We've next time we see Alan, we've got a friend who lives up in Minnesota. Next time we see Alan and Josh, we must force them to take us curling.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree. We got to go curling. I want to do it.
And then we'll record it. And then we'll send it to Barbara so she can see how good we are at curling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're the best.
I can't wait to see that.
It'll be great. All right, so now we're going to get back to business. We're going to get back to business.
Okay,
we got every now and then. That was a nice curling minute with Barbara Martinez.
What I like to do is have no segue whatsoever, but to just cut someone off in the middle and talk about what I want to talk about in a podcast.
I love that about you.
Thank you.
It's what makes you an award-winning podcast host.
Noel Carroll.
But back to the challenge itself. How has the level of participation been on the microfiber challenge so far? Has this been something that a lot of people have jumped into the fray and been like, we're going to solve this, we've got great ideas, or has it been slow moving?
Well, it's a good question. I don't quite know the answer yet because we launched the challenge. Yeah, we launched the challenge in late January.
January.
The deadline for applications is June 25th.
Awesome.
So this period of time allows us this is our time to advertise and to try to find all of the potential applicants out there.
Yeah.
So that they have enough time to write their application and submit by the 25th. It never fails, but not everyone, but most people submit their applications the day before or right up to the deadline.
Of course.
So it's
classic humans.
Classic, yes.
I feel like you should give bonus points to the people who do it early. You know? Like you get the judges are going to look for an extra 2 minutes at yours.
Right. You get $650,000 and a Starbucks card if you're a month
if you
early.
bring it in early. That's good. That's a good idea.
I feel the same way.
Yeah, right.
Totally put that.
Yeah. So we have some people who have already submitted, or organizations and companies who have already submitted applications. Yeah. But I expect that, we see people apply over the course of the open period, and then they'll all come in June 24th.
How long's the review process? Like once it's all in, how much time do you have to get it all reviewed before you give out the money?
So most of the rest of 2021 is a review process, and can you guys hear the siren?
We can.
We actually added that in post.
That's
we put that siren there for you. That's in your headphones. We put that there. That's
because this topic has gotten so hot. The firemen are on the way.
It's not the first siren that's been on this show, unfortunately.
Right. There might be more because I live on a road that leads to an emergency room. So
okay.
Okay.
No worries.
So you're used to it by now, for sure.
Used to it.
Yeah.
We get phone calls in the
middle of the show.
This show's a disaster.
It's a total
This show is a joke.
This show's a joke.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Guys, the show is not a joke.
That's actually become one of our new taglines, believe it or not, because when we brought my brother, of all people, came on to the show a couple weeks ago, a few weeks ago, a month ago. I don't remember. Time is relative. I think he said, he's like, oh, this show's a joke. And then we
were like, that's perfect.
Really hilarious. Yeah. The show is a joke. So now we've embraced it.
Tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
We know that we're doing the most important thing in the world by educating people, but we also embrace our silliness.
I love that you took it so far the other way. We are actually the most important environmental.
Of course. I love hyperbole more than life itself.
I'd rather be dead than not have hyperbole.
Exactly. Anyway,
we are tangenting again.
I know, Barbara. I'm sorry.
Do you want to hear the rest of the review process?
Yes, of course.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This is awful.
Right.
This is embarrassing. Go ahead.
Okay, so people submit by the 25th of June, and then we have panels of reviewers who we split up the applications across those panels. They provide their evaluations, and then based on those evaluations and recommendations, we narrow it down to a set of semifinalists, and those people will be notified around August.
Okay.
Got it.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, we give reviewers about a month to go through their set of applications, and they do it on their own time. We're not convening people, but we don't convene the reviewers. It's all done online.
Okay.
And then those semifinalists will they'll create a second round application. Mm-hmm. So we ask them for a little more detail. It's more of like they're going to create an application similar to if they were to pitch their innovation to investors. Those are the types of questions that they would be responding to in that second round application.
Oh, cool.
Kind of the Shark Tank round.
So as part of the job, I swear this is an actual question, not one of my usual ones. Yeah. But as part of the interest for Conservation X Labs to not only find something that is interesting, but something that has a chance of surviving as a business, so that you can get more done, so you can have more success in helping the environment.
Yeah,
because that seems
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's clever, because it's interesting. Like to just going beyond what the actual, whatever the invention is or idea is to the marketability of it. That's an unusual and cool take, because that's important. Because if you can't actually get it out there and get people to embrace it, then what's the point? You've gone and funded something that's just going into someone's pocket.
It's a neat idea, and then it just fades away.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty brilliant.
So it's really important that people understand who their customers are, who's going to pay for their innovation, and if it's and understanding their financial model, for their sustainability, not just environmental sustainability, but the financial sustainability.
Yeah. Inventing something for microfiber that, say, for example, you come up with a type of fabric that is woven a certain way, doesn't need to be treated, or the way that it's treated is with this organic compound. So then you're thinking, oh, well, Nike and H&M and all these places might be interested in this technology, because then they can acquire it. And so you are thinking about the consumer and the businesses that want to buy and then use your product.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
That's cool.
It's
amazing.
And through the challenge process, also, we hope to facilitate some of these connections and these partnerships for those innovators too. So really trying to understand who their target customers are, or we even ask in the application, what do you need or you want from the partners in this competition?
Yeah.
And so we're hoping to get some insights from applicants through that as well, because then we can take that back to the partners, and that's going to help them make decisions about any collaborations.
Yeah. Can anybody enter this? Is this open to the world?
Yes, Jacob, you can enter the competition.
Can I? No, but seriously, are there any limitations? Is this U.S. only, or is this global?
It's global. Anyone can enter. But again, your innovation should be at the point of there being a prototype. There has to be something physical and real by the time you submit your application. Yeah. But you can come from anywhere in the world. There's some caveats as far, because we're a US-based institution. There are some rules where we can send money.
Right.
But
That makes
innovators
sense.
may come from anywhere in the world.
So if I have like a Doom Island that I'm
Right.
creating bombs, weapons, and things, and I'm on the don't send money to list
Yeah, you
of the
probably shouldn't
American,
apply.
then you probably couldn't send me money for my innovation that helps the environment, even though otherwise I want to destroy the planet and
If
take it
you're
over.
Dr. Evil
my robots.
living out in the ocean
Right.
in those waters, they probably can't
Then
give
I
it to you.
probably can't get money
Right.
for my environmental idea. I'm probably have to fund it myself.
Yeah.
That's fine. So I'll have to hold something hostage or hijack something to get the money to then save the
Yeah,
environment.
that's usually what you normally do.
I mean, that's plan A.
Plan A.
Yeah.
So we almost got through the timeline for the review process.
No, we're not through it yet. We still have to go. Okay.
We're gonna keep cutting you off as much as
Our
possible.
goal is
That's
to
our
make
goal.
this entire podcast about the timeline itself. So August is the second round, Shark Tank round, right? And then what happens after that?
So then that second application gets reviewed by another set of panelists, another set of reviewers, and that's going to occur in about October, November.
Okay.
And then those reviewers will recommend 10. There'll be 10 finalists. And those 10 finalists will then pitch in front of a final set of judges. We are so optimistic that in early 2021, this will be an actual in-person event where we'll convene the finalists, the judges, our partners, in real life. They'll get to meet each other.
Do you mean like early 2022, right? Early 20
Or end of
did I say
2021.
Yeah, I mean 2022.
Oh, okay.
So like
Gotcha.
January, February 2022.
January, February.
Are you one of the
Nice.
judges? Will you be one of the people on the panel up there?
No, I don't get to judge.
Oh, because you
I don't
led the
judge.
competition. I mean, you're like,
Yeah.
that makes
It
sense.
wouldn't, I mean,
Wouldn't
I
be fair.
read,
She's the boss of the judges.
That's right. She's the boss of the judges. They
I
report to
read
her.
all of the applications. I love reading the applications. I love getting to meet the innovators and knowing them. And I might have favorites. And so I can't, I'm not a judge.
That makes sense. That makes sense because you're a part of the process from the beginning of selecting people, and so it'd be really hard for you to not kind of have formed relationships and ideas with these people of like what you think is the best one. And
She'd be biased towards your idea.
Oh yeah, so that's what you're saying
because you're so great.
So
so that's not fair.
That's why I wanted to know if she was a judge or not.
Yeah. So you may as well not submit it because that was your only chance.
That's fair. Yeah. Are the judges people who work with Conservation X Labs, or do you get people from the outside, like just tech innovators and people who work in the fabric industry?
Yeah, we usually
Textiles.
get judges from outside of Conservation X Labs for that final panel.
Yeah.
We have a couple of people who already will be those judges, but I'm not going to announce them yet because we're still building that panel. But
build the excitement, of course.
We don't like to break. We
excitement.
don't like to break news here. We like to review news, talk about it. If we're breaking news, we're doing it wrong. So that's okay. You should definitely hold on to that information.
Yeah. One of the judges is Schmerit Schmott. Carrot Top. No. Anyway.
That's exactly correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then do you want us to find some folks we know some people at Fremantle Media out here. We're in LA. Maybe we can have them put together like a Shark Tank style,
media thing. For the competition?
So it's frightening and scary, and then it's a big.
He's like, where they go like up next after the commercial
after the break, and then we have to pause people in the middle.
We see
of
the
what they're doing.
panelists. Really go.
Very epic.
Yeah. I think. Do you want that?
If we could have that voiceover, that voice.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be
You
great.
got
it. Movie voice guy.
We'll get movie voice guy. Yeah. Okay. No problem.
You got it.
Live and in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So did we do it? Did we get through the submission,
timeline?
or do you have more?
Well, we'll sort of, almost.
Almost there.
Well, we have to pick the winner. We haven't picked the winner yet.
Yeah.
Right. So, so that in-person event is when the winners will be announced, and there's a pool of $650,000 to be distributed across any number of finalists. Again, that's for the judges to decide.
Okay.
How many prizes and who gets those prizes.
Yeah.
And then what we're also going to do is work with some of the finalists, some of those prize winners over the rest of 2022 to help them with, this is kind of a jargony term, but acceleration. And,
Gotcha.
And what other services can we provide at CXL or through our partners that can help them leverage that prize money that they received? and turn it into more money or more resources that are going to help them grow.
Awesome.
So basically, if you're an innovator and you have something really, really awesome and you've got a good, energetic, quality team that's got a good idea and a good way to push it through, this is an incredible opportunity because you're not just getting potentially money in your hands. You're actually getting assistance from an established and wonderful organization with a lot of contacts that can help you get this idea marketed and out there. Yeah. So if I were listening to the Biofriendly podcast, and I am, I think probably.
Technically.
Are you listening, Noel?
You're listening.
I'm listening. Then I would say you should tell anybody and everybody you know who has an innovation that might apply, that might be worthwhile here, that you should send it in because it's a free opportunity for you to really have your idea really make a difference and do some things.
Yeah, it's not throwing money in your lap and saying, go figure it out. You're getting support. You're getting
so you know, we obviously we spend almost all the time on the show joking around, as you know, and we love to do that. But in all seriousness, we do sometimes like to point things out. The reason that we were so excited to have you on isn't just because we love talking about curling and you. Yeah. It's because this is an awesome opportunity for anybody who's got an idea that applies to this. So you know, take advantage. Don't be a dummy who sits on the side and
And if microfibers aren't your thing, there's other challenges. Like you heard about the mining challenge, the artisanal mining challenge. Right. This is what you guys do. You have these different industries and these different businesses that need innovation and change and new sustainable ideas. And that's what Conservation X Labs is really got a lot of their hand in, is helping grow these ideas into fruition. And so if microfibers ain't your thing, go online and look at some of the other upcoming challenges. Right?
I mean, I think we should we'll even post them up. Let us know when you've got new ones too, so we can put them on the put them we can send them out and let people know what's going on, because obviously we want to support you and we want to help the environment, and you're doing a good job of accelerating that. So we're in. We've always been in. We're still in. Yeah.
Is there anything else we missed about it that we should discuss before we wrap things up?
People should check out the partners that we have on the challenge.
Absolutely.
Amazing partners.
Where can they see them?
So it's also on the website, but let's see. Under Armour is a partner.
Wow. I've got Under Armour stuff. Awesome.
Yeah, and what's really cool is they're interested in working with a winner in their proving grounds.
I mean, Under Armour, that's a huge company. That's
huge
awesome.
Kind of athletic wear. Yeah.
That's wow. Sorry, go ahead. Who else we got? What else we got?
There's a company called Bolt Threads, and they're creating a couple of new materials that are they're really interesting. But one of them is mushroom based essentially, and so it's a leather.
I've heard of that. Yeah, yeah, very cool.
And there's another brand based in the UK called Finisterre. You should check them out. They're a great company. And then, so we have something like 16 partners. And so
that's terrific.
If there's another 10 minutes, I could read them all off. But I recommend that I'm going to push people to go to the website.
Yeah. I mean, and then go ahead and say the website out loud again so everybody's got it. We probably can't do. How much time do we have left on
I have no idea what time it is. I think we probably can't do 10 minutes of the businesses, but we will list them. We will link. Yeah. So tell people where they should go.
Yeah. So our website is conservationxlabs.com/microfibers.
That's easy enough.
Spelled the English microfibers. U.S. English.
ERS, not RES.
Yeah, and it's easier to find than you think, because if you just go to if you go to whatever you like to search with,
Bing obviously
Bing, you type in Conservation X Labs, and once you're on the main site, right there it says our challenges. That's like one of the first things you see on the site. And when you go to the challenges, it's you can find your way to this one pretty quick. Yeah. So if you're just digging around,
it's the one
that they're pushing right now. Yeah. What's in the horizon for the next challenge? Do you know? I know you mentioned the Amazon gold mining thing.
Yeah, the Amazon gold mining will be next.
Okay.
Let's see. Wow, we're interested in kind of the next phase of microfibers and fibers fiber replacements. Yeah, we have lots of ideas, but
okay. Go to the site. Check them out.
Go to the site. Yeah.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Very cool. Well, thank you, Barbara. That was awesome. That was a lot of fun.
We loved it. You really are a brave soul to endure the Noel and Jacob tangential show to try to get the message out. I mean, but we did get through the timeline. People now know that this is an awesome thing that they can get involved with and really get the support of Conservation X Labs.
If they don't get it now, I don't know what to do with them. I don't even know.
Then they should just go join a curling team.
Oh, okay. Well, so that's
a good alternative.
That's the tie. That's how we're linking this all to curling.
Exactly. Well, is there anything else before we go? And hopefully we can within this next year into 2022 have more opportunities to gather in person and get a chance to come see you again out there on the East Coast.
Yeah, the world's opening up a little bit, so maybe maybe as the months pass, we'll get to catch up again in person, which would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will be. Stay safe and I guess, I want to tell you guys not to feel guilty about your collection of polyester clothing that you have.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I have so much of it, actually. I have so much.
Jacob used to actually look for polyester clothing. He would actually go through the aisles, and then if it said any % cotton, he would throw it on the ground. And then pick a polyester version instead.
He's joking with me, but here's the sad truth.
Do you really?
Once upon a time, I specifically shopped for polyester.
Really?
I did.
What is it about polyester that
I was trying? It was a phase that I was going through that was like 70s type polyester shirts, and I bought a ton of them. I would go to like Goodwill and stuff, and I would find people who were just disregarding. This was a long time ago. Yeah. This was when I was like a teenager.
Was it flame retardant?
I think so.
Yeah, because I think that's part of the problem.
Yeah, part of the problem.
That's treated.
Yeah. But thank you for saying we shouldn't feel too guilty, and to our audience as well. To Barbara's point, you shouldn't feel guilty about the clothes that you do have. Right? That's what you were saying.
Don't feel guilty about the clothes you do have, but you could be a more conscious consumer if you're thinking of buying new clothing.
Yes.
You can check out the labels. Try to get single fabric or single. Like the blends are a lot more difficult to recycle.
Right.
And search out those more natural fabrics.
Absolutely. Yeah, we covered that. We covered that on the fast fashion, which is like, for our audience and people who are part of the Painless Green and all of our groups, we're not asking you to go in your closet and Marie Kondo and this sparks joy, throw everything out. Like we want you to keep what you have, what you like, but going forward,
because remember waste.
Yes.
Right? If you've got it, like it has been made, it's in your closet, it works, use it. Otherwise, you're throwing away clothes.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's really more about going forward. Look into the clothing you're buying, check at those labels, look at those brands and what they're pushing, because we're getting more eco-friendly. There's a lot of clothing companies that are bragging and touting about the methods that they make their clothes, how organic they are, the processes. So just do a little bit of looking into that. That's what we're saying.
I'm also stoked that Barbara is such a biofriendly podcast veteran that she knew better than we did, even because we almost just failed. She brought it back to, hey, let's not punish people.
Yeah.
For doing that, which is something that we're supposed to say. We were supposed to say that, Jacob.
Our guests are always better than us.
That's a good point.
That's very true. Yeah. Well, Barbara, this is the time of the show where we let the guests choose if they'd like to say goodbye and walk out, or they can watch us brave our way through our tags at the end of the show. So it's the choice is yours.
We're doing the tags.
Yeah.
I want to brave my way through that.
Yeah. I love it. Yes, of course.
Excellent.
Of course. So, ladies and gentlemen, Barbara Martinez, thank you for joining us. We are your beacon of light in a gloomy environment.
Carefully avoiding neonicotinoids.
We are the Siegfried and Roy of podcasts.
This show is a joke.
It's perfect.
Is that all we have?
I think that's it.
That's all we got so far. Okay,
so
good.
Yeah.
It's early in the year. As the year goes by, it'll be more epic.
They'll get longer and longer. So Barbara Martinez, Conservation X Labs, go check them out. Go get involved. If you got a great idea for that microfiber challenge, you should get involved. There is $650,000 at stake here, people, and a great company that would help and support grow your idea and bring it to fruition. So thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on the Biofriendly Podcast.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.
It's the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.